Welcome back to our Bluesy Water channel. Today I'd like to do a video on an application of the Brown's gas hydrogen therapy. We'll post links below to our entire playlist. Just a quick review. This therapy is excellent on inflammation and overall cell repair. And we have many videos going through this therapy. But particularly if you're with aging, inflammation increases dramatically, and this is by far the very best anti-inflammatory therapy one can do. The gas is extraordinarily permeable. It's the key aspect to this therapy is its ability of the hydrogen molecule to permeate everywhere in the body, literally down to the RNA and DNA of the cells. The hydrogen molecule is the building block for all things in the universe, so it has incredible organizing intelligence. When it goes into a body, helps the body figure out its own healing. But one thing you'll notice right off the bat is a reduction in inflammation. So today I want to talk about an area of inflammation that is very important, and that's the brain. I just want to show you the hydrogen machine real quick. So the gas is coming up through here, goes out into what's called the scrubber bottle or the humidifier. This takes out any wee bit of lye that might be left in the mix. The machine, the way the gas is made is you mix distilled water with lye, and then there are two cathode and anode, I believe. Anyhow, it's a chemical reaction that makes Brown's gas, which is hydrogen, oxygen, and what's called plasma state water. So we have many videos interviewing George, and he explained why it's important to have these three gases, particularly obviously the hydrogen and the plasma stage, plasma state water. This is a critical cofactors that make the hydrogen work better. You can go through our playlist and you'll see a lot of information on that. But anyhow, the gas goes out through the tower, through the scrubber, and into this bottle. This is where you attach, this is where we have our, this is our cannula. This is what you breathe. This is typically what you do. So the gas comes in. Now you can set the machine according to your body weight. You set the output on the machine. So how much gas is coming out. Then when you breathe in, it mixes with the air coming in. So it's a trickle of gas coming out of here, but basically, the setting I have for myself at 40%, it will saturate my body in about 20 minutes. So after that, actually, I theoretically could turn the machine down at least 60, 70%, because that once you saturate, you need very little to maintain. So if you're going to do it all night long, you can set it to a much lower setting, and that way you don't have to refill the machine as often. And all night long is really what I recommend for anybody who wants to achieve the maximum therapeutic benefit. Doing this therapy 7, 8, 9, 10 hours a day or more is really highly beneficial. So obviously sleeping is a great time to do it. You can buy, this is a very soft silicone cannula, very nice flexible rubber, doesn't bother you. You do have to change them out about once a month because they're starting to harden up over time. I'm pretty used to them, so I don't feel like I need to change them even when they harden up, but that's, for many, they want it to keep it really soft and comfortable. So this is what you're normally doing. You're breathing it. It takes, like I say, at 40% setting on the machine, which is for my body weight, I will saturate my body in approximately 20 minutes. So today we're talking about the brain. So I just really want to first talk about something called ear insufflation and ozone. It's one of the main forms of ozone therapy meant to treat the brain and also for ear infections. When I first got medical ozone, I actually had an ear infection, and it was going on for about a week. When I did the ear insufflation ozone, within 2 days it was gone. So ozone is a very powerful way to treat the ears and get to the brain, because through the ears is one of the best ways to get straight into the brain. There are different sections of the brain, and in hydrogen therapy, for instance, let's say you had inflammation in your knee, you could topically treat the knee, or if you had wrist problem, you could bag the wrist. So you can do localized treatments with hydrogen and also with ozone. They're very similar. They're both gas therapies. The difference is that ozone is very antimicrobial, used mainly to cut through and knock out microbes, fungus, bacteria, viruses, etc. Hydrogen's forte is knocking out inflammation and creating kind of like a wound healing or general overall calming and long-term healing. So it's not an antimicrobial therapy. Now, one of the biggest issues is inflammation in the brain. At least I know for myself, I started noticing that when I got older. And so how do you treat the brain? Well, generally breathe, put in the cannula and do that general whole body treatment. But I found that just knowing about ear insufflation ozone and how that's a really great protocol for going straight into the brain, you simply do ear insufflation, Brown's gas therapy. First, you hook the stethoscope to the water bottle of the hydrogen machine. It's not a tight fit, it's a loose fit. So it is mixing with the air, and you can turn the machine way down. Now, to stay within the safe explosive limit, number one, absolutely do this in an environment that you know you're not going to have any sparks, anybody lighting up a flame. Be very, very careful about your environment. I will say that when you do this therapy, do it at your own risk, but you can turn the machine down to around, let's say 20%. And I don't know the hard numbers on this, but you can turn it down to a low setting. Do not jam it in your ear. It'll seep in to your ear. So if you just keep it loose, it's going to mix with the air around it and go into your brain. Now, you're not breathing it in, but if it's super sealed tight and it's just building up hydrogen, that's one thing. If it's loose, then it's pulling with the air around you and kind of passively going in with a mix of air and hydrogen. So I am going to say this with a big warning. I mean, I would say if you have any concerns about the safety and the explosion issue, don't do this. If you want to be very cautious, turn the machine down to around 15, 20, probably okay. But I do not, this is not something I'm going to say with any hard certainty as far as where the absolute safe limit is. But I know if you went down to about 10, 15, you'd probably pretty sure you'd be safe. The duration of the time to do this therapy, it's going to get into the brain pretty quick, and this is, very, very permeable. And if you have inflammation, headaches, and in general, just sort of start off maybe with 15, 20 minutes. I notice that when I do about 15, 20, 25 minutes, definite, if I have inflammation going on, I notice a pretty drastic improvement within about 20, 25 minutes. So this is excellent therapy overall for the brain. This is a direct entry into the brain. You can mix it with your ozone therapy, another excellent tonification for the brain. And then we have a whole brain video we put out. We'll put a link below to our brain video for other things you can do, such as photobiomodulation therapy, cranial electrotherapy, stimulation therapy. But these are gas therapies that literally are very, very permeable. They each have their separate action. Once again, hydrogen's forte is inflammation, global building block for healing, whereas the ozone is for really good on microbes. If you have, even God forbid, you have parasites or fungus in the brain, you definitely want to do the ozone. The hydrogen wouldn't touch it. So good to know about these ways to treat the brain. And if you have any questions, you can please contact me, Andrew@blueseawater.com. Thank you.